Yeah, good morning, everybody. It's about 10:10 on this, and some people like to joke at Mother's Day Eve. Um, but yeah, as you can see up there, title's very unusual. But I was reading over at the Sonic Saturday morning Sonic site, and I posted up there the link and everything to the Ian Flynn interview by Segabits a few weeks ago, and it's kind of gotten people talking. And Laser X5, who's been very outspoken about some of the things Ian has done, bring that down for a little bit. There we go. But has been outspoken about some of the things Ian Flynn has done in the comic. I guess found somebody over at Divanaut that feels the same way, if not more so. Now, we all know that some people always have felt a connection between SatAM and the comics. And, hold on for a second. Basically, they've always felt a connection with this in the comics, always feeling that the comics was the last vesture, if you will, for this series, basically. So, they've always felt, like I said, it was a one last vesture, um, one last, basically, hurrah for them. Basically, the last opportunity or the last, you know, I can't even think of the word right now, and I'm a little tired still. I woke up this morning, but kind of like the last, yeah, I guess you could say last vesture, the last glimmer of SatAM in existence with original all new stories. So honestly, you can't really blame anybody for feeling the way they do. Um, but as you can see the title up there, one thing this person over at Divanaut obviously um, thought about, if you will, just checking my time there, making sure everything's right. But one of the things he kind of always obviously felt, and I'm sure people may agree with him, may not, but he's always felt that SatAM was targeted for teenagers. The last time I checked, honestly, folks, and I'm with Natalie here, and with anybody else, and with Tross, and maybe even Laser X5, because Laser, when they post these quotes, say they don't agree with everything this person says. So I think I'm in the majority with uh, with with these people when I say I don't think it was ever intended for teenagers. Because if it was intended for teenagers, it would have been on a lot later, and more so probably been on, like, say, between. Honestly, if it was targeted towards teenagers, it would have been like the last cartoon or so on the ABC children's block before they went to regular programming. So to me, I can't really say yay or nay. Hey, well, actually, I can say nay on the fact that it was never meant for teenagers. Because if it was meant for teenagers, again, um, it would have been one of the last, probably the last show seen on the ABC Children's Saturday morning block before they went to regular programming. It would have been seen on that, and everybody knows that. But that's why, to me, I look at it and I say this was never intended for teenagers. In fact, just like people say about the comic book, it was a show intended for all ages. I mean, if you want to go by age range, folks, if you want to go by age and everything, if you want to go by that, um, if you want to go by age range, folks, let me fix my chair now. There we go. You want to go by range. If you look at the ratings now, Let me tell you something. The show that everybody said had a SatAM kind of style to it, kind of like a SatAM style to it, even though it was, um, you know, even though it was an entirely different universe, it was, the only characters that anybody recognized was Sonic and Sonic, Robotnik, and Knuckles. Uh, basically Sonic Underground. If you take a look at the rating that it was given when it made its return to syndication over a year ago, it was given the rating of TVY7. Yeah. So if you want to if you want to go by any kind of age range, take a look at the TV settings or the TV rating settings, and you might think to yourself, well, Underground. You might think to yourself and ask yourself, if Underground was Y7, then SatAM might have been Y7 too. No kidding. See, that's exactly what it would have been. Underground was Y7. Adventures was mostly Y. Yeah, some people put Y7 on there, but it was a mostly Y rating. SatAM is kind of like Underground and like Sonic X. It had a TV Y7 rating. That's what it had. And probably just like with Sonic X, it had a TV Y7 FV rating. And that was about it. But that was the thing. If you want to look at it if this person wants to look at it through an age demographic situation, look at the TV ratings and kind of ask yourself even though the TV ratings were never, didn't come out until after SatAM was, done, ask yourself this. Ask yourself this. Why in the world would anybody consider it being for teenagers? I mean, yes, some people may say, oh, well, in Hooked on Sonic, Sonic kind of, I guess wanted to out-kiss Sally, so basically he kisses her in a French style. Look, it doesn't mean it was Frenching. Basically what it was, he wanted to prove he could do a better kiss than Sally. And you can even hear him talking about it right afterwards. He says basically the thing was he wanted to prove he could do better in giving a more serious kiss, and that was the whole situation. That was the whole situation. And yes, the show had dark, dramatic tones. What episode didn't? What episode, first season or second season, didn't have at times dark, dramatic tones? I mean, I've gone on record and said when you watch the Void episode and you see Sally have to separate from her father again after finding out exactly where he's been, you almost feel for her. You almost want to cry yourself. You feel for her. And yeah, that's the kind of impact that it has, but it doesn't mean it's for teenagers. Okay? It's an all ages show, and if you want to look at it from a rating standpoint, a age demographic standpoint, and a TV rating standpoint, it's TVY7 rating. That's what it is, a TVY7 rating, and maybe if you want to probably add a little spice to it, TVY7 FV. That's it. That's it. Nothing more. So again, I don't know, and I don't mean this in any offense to Laser, or I don't mean this to any offense to anybody else. I don't know where this person at DA gets the concept that SatAM was intended for teenagers, because guess what? It wasn't. It's an all ages show. Okay? I mean, I can understand maybe they don't understand that right now, because of the fact. I mean, I can understand perhaps they don't look at it that way because of what's going on in the comics right now. Well, as much as I hate to admit it, what's going on in the comics is basically just building up. I mean, right now you got the characters going through situations that the greater the victory is, the greater or the smaller the victory is for the villain, the more momentum the villain gets. The hero's victory will be 10 times that. Everybody knows that. And I can understand people showing their frustration with that, but you don't come out and say that the comic was entirely based off SatAM. Yes, there were elements in SatAM. Yeah, a majority of the SatAM elements and story-like atmosphere was placed in the comic. But it's just like some people said. It's just like some people said. You know, just because there were story elements placed in the comic doesn't, I mean, not story elements, but just because there was SatAM elements placed in the comic doesn't mean it was entirely based off SatAM. I mean, let me ask you this. What did SatAM have? What did SatAM have that the comic had? What did they have? Did SatAM ever have Supersonic? No. No, they didn't. Did they ever have Bunny get upgraded? No. No, they didn't. Yes, the only similarity is she's de-roboticized. But that's not going to last long, right? Apparently, from what we understand. We don't know what's going to happen there, and that's one thing that confuses fans, but that's okay, because we know that question is going to be answered soon. But again, what other elements, same elements did they have, or anything? You know, did they have, let's see, did they have the introduction of the anti-freedom fighters, the suppression squad, as they would be known later on? Did they have them introduced in SatAM? No. The only alternate universe kind of stuff or antis they ever had in the shown ever was in Underground, and that was it. The truth is, folks, just because we feel that something has a stronger connection to something else doesn't mean it's entirely connected to it. I mean, honestly, did we have let me put this, did we have Metal Sonic in SatAM? If there would have been a third season, it might have been possible, but did we? No, we didn't. You know, what else? Do we have Dulcie's origins ever explored in SatAM? Briefly, sort of, but not really. You know what I'm saying? Did we ever see Sally get roboticized besides in a dream sequence? Like in a non-dream sequence, did we ever see that? No. Did we ever see Sonic get roboticized? No. The truth is, a lot of what I've mentioned could have been, but never was in SatAM and was put in the comics. You know? Did we ever see Bunny and Antoine get together as a couple in SatAM? No, they got together in the comics. Did we ever see Nicole get a true Mobian form in the form of a lynx? No, it only happened in the comics. You see, this is what people are trying to differentiate, or trying to explain. That SatAM, yes, was and is a strong influence and a strong, base and foundation for the comic to continue on with, to thrive on. But it doesn't mean the comic's entirely based off SatAM. So, again, I don't know where this person that Laser is quoting things from is getting his information from, but it was never meant for teenagers. Nor did I ever hear swearing in it. You know, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this person's ranting out of frustration. I don't know what. But the truth is, folks, the truth is, SatAM was never meant for teenagers. It was an all-ages show. And again, if you want to go by rating, TV rating, age demographic, look at it as a TVY7, maybe TVY7 FV show. And that's it. So, hopefully, I know this was a video one. Hopefully that explains a lot. For those of you that are wondering what I'm talking about here on YouTube, I will provide the links down below, and you'll see for yourself. I'll talk to y'all later. Comments are welcome too.